in Dharmasthala, a temple with centuries of Hindu tradition was suddenly painted as being involved in some odious activities. Some even suggested it was anti-Dalit. Isn't this a classic case of falsehood being weaponized to malign Hindu institutions, in your opinion?
The generation of atrocity literature in relation to Hindu institutions is not a post-independent India phenomenon. This has been going on at least for the last 200 to 250 years. And I think several authors have written tomes on this. I have commented on this ad nauseum. I've spoken about this extensively. It just so happens that while we happen to be a Hindu majority country, that is, of course, until the census says otherwise, the fact of the matter is we are not exactly a conscious Hindu majority when it comes to our rights, and particularly when it comes to the weaponization of our history and using it to secularize our institutions, our faith systems, and the gradual balkanization of Hindu dharma on linguistic, ethnic, chauvinist lines and regional lines, I think is something that we need to become extremely aware of. The South has been the crucible for this experiment for a good 2 centuries at the very least, starting from German missionaries or even Dutch missionaries. And on this, I've written a series of articles in the Indian Express. The fact of the matter is, the unfortunate reality is that current day collaborators exist from within the Hindu community under the name of reform, in the name of progressive values, in the name of liberalism, in the name of secularism. And they are what I've always called Hindus in name only, whose sole intention and goal is to somehow undermine the foundations of Bharat, which is Hindu Dharma. Allow me to say this, I have no problems whatsoever when somebody chooses to call out certain practices which they may not agree with on the ground that it may not even meet with the standards of even Hindu behavior. Right. I understand that. Okay, so I'm not going to paint everybody with the same brush. But by and large, my reading of history says I will start with a certain degree of circumspection, dare I say even suspicion, until proven otherwise. Given that the people who front these activities are not the dramatists personally themselves, they typically happen to be the puppets, with puppeteers coming from the known culprits, and I usually end up tracing the origins to evangelical sources one way or another.